For the scientist who has lived by his faith in the power of reason, the story ends like a bad dream. He has scaled the mountains of ignorance. He is about to conquer the highest peak. As he pulls himself over the final rock, he is greeted by a band of theologians who have been sitting there for centuries. The most sublime question of all is why something exists rather than nothing. If the atheist be true, there is no God. This does nothing to aid in answering the question of why there is something rather than nothing, for nothing produces nothing. Where did the nothing come from that produced the something? What catalyst could there be to start the something when there was nothing? Nothing does not create something. Nothing produces nothing because it is no thing. There is no thing to produce the something. But if nothing does create something, then we should throw all modern science away. For if 0 can equal 1, then it could just as easily equal infinity. And if that be true, then all understanding of everything has become void. How then could we even begin to make a positive assertion about anything? Because if nothing can be something, then anything can be anything. So my friend, do you believe there is no God? How then can something be something when there was nothing to begin with? Energy cannot be created or destroyed, so how then did energy become something from nothing? You see, these men seek to become wise, but they falter even by their own laws that they claim to follow. They have become fools. They are no better than the alchemists, for even they claim to be creating from something rather than nothing. It is as if they have resorted back to spontaneous generation in order to explain why there is rather than is not. Their beliefs are based as if the universe is a magician pulling a rabbit out of its hat. But you see, if God be real, then there is no question about where the something came from, for the something has always been and always will be, for eternity past into eternity future. We have no need for quandary, for if God be, then something came from something and not nothing, for God has existed for all of eternity, the uncaused cause. Ah, but here's the nail in the atheist's coffin. He must admit that nothing does produce something in order to explain God away. What kind of foolishness is this? For even if he could come up with an explanation for the Big Bang's cause, then he is just pushing the peg one step further back. What caused the cause that caused the Big Bang? Eventually, the events must have a beginning, for there are no physical infinites. An infinity of past events is irrational and impossible. Ah, my friends, it seems that the atheist must believe in miracles, because when we push the peg back to the so-called beginning, the first event, he must still explain how it all began, for the cause must be transcendent, immaterial, and uncaused. Otherwise, the atheist must admit that a miracle occurred, or that it merely spontaneously generated itself. But no atheist would concede this point. How foolish is this? And some might even say irrational. It is interesting that the ones who claim to stand upon reason and proof have none to explain the basis of their own beliefs. They are based on nothing. Their entire belief system has no beginning. It is merely ideas floating around in the cosmos with no firm foundation. For even with all the technology and understanding we have, we still cannot create the most basic form of life, and we most certainly cannot create something from nothing. And yet, they claim it came by sheer chance. But Christians, we are based on truth. The basic truth that God exists, and through him all things came into being by the word of his mouth. Even the small planet in the middle of a cold, vast galaxy. We may ponder the question, why something exists rather than nothing, and think for only a moment, for we know these basic truths. Whatever begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. It is so simple, really. The atheist may again prove a cause for the universe, but it only moves the peg one step further back. What caused the previous cause? This cannot go on for eternity. Therefore, God is the uncaused creator who is beginningless, changeless, immaterial, timeless, spaceless, and enormously powerful. And by the way, the Bible even ventures to say he loves us and cares about us. So now that we have this matter settled, we may now move on to more pressing matters. We may ask the questions that are truly of importance. Questions such as, who is this God, and what is mankind that he is mindful of us? Thanks for watching.